On the news, check the influx of illegal expatriates, Senate tax Ministry of Interior. Campaign against gender-based violence, human rights activist speaks on ways to mitigate domestic violence. Plus, Akwa Ibom State Assembly passes resolution authorizing Governor Eno to constitute interim administration. Good evening and a warm welcome to NTA Parliament News, reaching you from the nation's capital city, Abuja. I am Ene Ojonuba. The Senate Committee on Interior is tasking the Interior Ministry to check the influx of illegal expatriates who are undermining the sovereignty of the nation and taking over jobs meant for the teeming youth in the country. This was during the budget defense by the Minister of Interior. National Assembly correspondent Amina Seidu reports.
The challenge of illegal immigration in Nigeria remains a source of concern. This is as a result of some borders becoming porous despite huge government spendings to secure such locations. The Chairman Senate Committee on Interior, Senate Adams Oshomole, charged the ministry to ensure that measures are put in place to sanitize the migration system.
We also have inflow of certain persons from certain countries into Nigeria. It is either because they see what our young people and even not so young can't see, or because we have internal barriers for our own people, which does not affect these people of color that comes to Nigeria. But when I then see your revenue from expatriate quota, and in the manner you present it, it will appear as if you are very proud of it. But we need to know a few things before we celebrate it.
Minister of Interior Olubimi Tunji Ojo says the ministry is working hard towards overcoming challenges with innovations to meet up with global best practices.
A lot of these people are not. And a lot of these people do not. We know some that we've arrested, some that we have deported, and of course, we've taken actions on some. And that's why we pleaded with you. I pleaded specifically earlier that we need a bit of fund for monitoring and evaluation.
Meanwhile, a policy expatriate employee network is underway to safeguard jobs meant for Nigerians and prevent tax evasion by expatriates. From the National Assembly, Amina Seidu, NTA News.
Nigerian lawmakers are asking for a more transparent and accountable system of tax waiver in order to ensure the country enjoys the full benefits. The Senate Committee on Appropriation emphasized this position when the Minister of Finance, Wale Edun, confirmed that 3 trillion naira worth of tax waiver was granted in 2023 alone during budget defense. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports on some of the budget defense sessions.
The Minister of Finance and his counterparts of Budget and National Planning are engaging with the lawmakers for the second time within 24 hours. The issue of tax waiver granted companies dominated the session.
Some people are taking advantage unnecessary of Nigerians and benefiting to the detriment of Nigerians. When you talk about credit, tax credit, it's an expenditure and it should go through the National Assembly.
The issue of waivers, that the provision that was made this year in this year's budget, for us, since it's a transition period, can we half it by reducing it?
The ministers reassured that the present administration is revamping the system by opting for tax rebates.
If somebody is going to be given a concessional interest rate, they pay the normal interest, carry out their transaction, and then they get a rebate.
The chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service and the managing director of the Nigerian Ports Authority in their submissions told the committee that the 19 trillion naira revenue target for 2024 is achievable.
The budgeted figure we have in 2024 is 19 trillion. If the fundamentals are correct, which I know by God's grace we will, and one of those major fundamentals is 1.7 million barrel per day that we've set for oil production.
When the purchasing power of the Nigerians increases, it means there will be either more exports or more imports, but most likely more imports. That means we'll have more traffic. That means we'll have more revenue.
Also, as the National Assembly for Budget Defense was the Permanent Secretary, State House, with the Senate Committee on Special Duties, he explains the 200% increase in the State House 2024 budget proposals.
We started with the presidency because we want Nigerians to know no MDA would be spared from defending its budget. And we are starting from the #1 office of the land, that is the presidency. So let me commend President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for also presenting the budget.
I observed that in 2023, your budget is 21 billion, but it has now jumped to 76 billion.
Capital cannot but increase as a result of obvious reasons. The exchange rates of some of the things we need to buy, as well as the cost of operations.
Away from budget defense, the Senate Ad Hoc Committee investigating the turnaround maintenance in Nigeria's refineries and the Senate Committee on Public Accounts have, in separate sittings, decried the non-appearance of stakeholders.
NNPC is a cost spindle around which all this investigation revolves. Whatever information we get from you will not make any meaning unless NNPC is available.
The Auditor General's of the Federation's report is not an indictment, but it is rather a wake-up call. We shall find ways to correct the wrongs, to make the system better, and we move on.
They insist that representations will not be entertained. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
A sigh of relief, you may say. Delay in gratuities and death benefits will no longer be an issue to civil servants after retirement. This assurance is coming from the Chairman, House of Representatives Committee on Pensions, Hussaini Mohammed Jallo, during an oversight visit to the Pension Transitional Arrangement Directorate and Pensions Board in Abuja. National Assembly correspondent Mohammed Rabiu Ali reports.
In the past, pension of retirees has been an issue resulting to untold hardship after service. Recent statistics, however, is showing that the graph of complaints has been going down from 4,525 complaints in 2017 to 2,432 in 2022. The House Committee on Pension, during its oversight, visits the Pension Transitional Directorate Arrangement, PTAD, are received by the Executive Secretary, where she briefed the members on the successes recorded.
From 2015 to November 2023, so far we have paid a total of 810 billion in monthly pensions. Payments of long outstanding arrears to pensioners across all the pension departments, most significantly the huge arrears inherited from the defunct and privatized agencies, of which we have paid over 50-something billion.
The committee also visited the National Intelligence Agency Pension House on issues affecting pension matters. The legislators rounded off their oversight at the Military Pensions Board and were briefed by the chairman, Paul Iromeson.
I want to appreciate this committee for your constant support and effort towards the board. The support has improved the discharge of our core mandate, which is the administering of pension of military personnel and payment of their benefit to our annual care of deceased personnel.
We are 100% convinced of the way and manner the pension administration is going on at the Military Pension Board. Now the issue of unpaid pensioners of the military and other pensioners is becoming a thing of the past, whereby I don't see pensioners, be it military or been sleeping overhead bridges or at motor parks in pursuit of their pension. So commend the effort of the chairman of the Military Pension Board for a work well done.
The committee assured pension boards of its support to effectively perform their statutory duties. In Abuja, Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
The Senate Committee on Health is canvassing government's improved financial commitment in the use and practice of alternative medicine in the 2024 budget. at its 2023 budget performance engagement. The committee and the Director General of the National Agency for Food and Drugs Administration and Control pointed out the skyrocketing costs of imported drugs. Ignatius Nkwo reports.
Parliamentary scrutiny of the 2024 appropriation bill in full swing at the National Assembly. Members of the Senate Committee on Health took off the 2024 budget defense season with visits to agencies under its purview. At the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, the committee demanded to know what the agency is doing to improve the use of alternative medicine in Nigeria and the status of its due diligence in tracking drugs within Nigeria.
Well, I wonder what you have been doing as NAFDAC to improve the use of alternative medicine.
NAFDAC is built to support alternative medicines. However, I mentioned that the attention that is supposed to be given is not. The Senate Committee on Health can actually take this up. We need to put more money.
I believe funding will not be an issue because we already have the funds domiciled at CBN and even Bank of Industry. The hubs, the building, the structures are already there. We could just convert a few of them into high-tech hub for alternative medical and pharmaceutical research.
And I look at the few projects you have. Some of them are still ongoing, but you did not give us the date of award.
The committee was also at the headquarters of the Medical and Dental Council to find out the status of the 2023 budget and to ensure that there is adequate enforcement of code of ethics among practitioners. The committee also wants the council to fast-track the federal government policy on expansion of the number of medical undergraduate intake. Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
It's 12 days out of 16 days activism against gender-based violence, GBV, a campaign set aside by the United Nations to support elimination of violence against women, which kick-started on the 25th November and runs until 10th December 2023. Joseph Otsen gives us a background on the advocacy.
Gender-based violence, GBV, is a human rights violation manifesting in verbal and physical abuses. These come in forms of sexual, physical, emotional and psychological violence, such as child marriage, trafficking, domestic violence, and many more. Though both genders are affected by the menace, women and girls are reported to be major victims due to their vulnerability in the society dominated by men that sees them as a weaker sex. United Nations estimates that 1 in 3 women experience either physical or sexual intimate, partner violence or non-partner sexual violence in their lifetime. In Nigeria, not less than 31% of girls and women aged between 15 and 49 reported to have experienced sexual abuse. Humanitarian emergencies seem to exacerbate the violence. For instance, during the COVID-19 lockdown, the Lagos State Domestic and Sexual Violence Response Team reported a 3-fold increase in related number of telephone calls received through their hotlines in 1 month. And the insurgency in the northeastern part of the country propelled harmful practices such as child marriages leading to high level of early and teenage pregnancies, while incidents of sexual violence towards men and boys were observed. Stemming the tide of gender-based violence to the board has continued to be a huge challenge due to cultural and religious beliefs and stigma, as survivors hardly speak out and poor legislations have not helped matters. But activists are not relenting as they continue to push on with campaigns. One of such moves is the ongoing 16 days of activism against gender-based violence instituted in 1991. It is an annual International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women that kickstarts on the 25th November and runs until 10th December. But how much of the campaigns are critical stakeholders really committed to? What support systems are there or needed for survivors of gender-based violence? and steps to be taken to end the scourge.
And joining us now on Parliamentary News to discuss 16 days activism on gender-based violence is President, League of Women Voters of Nigeria, NILOV, Irene Awona Ike. Welcome to Parliamentary News.
Thank you for having me.
Can you speak on the theme and relevance of the 16 days activism on gender-based violence?
Okay, the theme this year, which is Unite, Invest, and to end gender-based violence. It's a clarion call on everyone, government, private sector, development organizations, CSOs, to come on board and invest, not just by lending out their voices, but also by way of corporate social responsibility, to see that we put an end to gender-based violence in our environments and our communities.
What else can be done as cases seem to be on the rise?
We are looking at community initiatives and collaborations to see that we bring everyone who has a voice in our communities on board to ensure that we amplify, the dangers of SGBV, and also ask a lot of people to speak out more, and then have referral centers.
What is the role of NILOV?
The League of Women Voters, it's an organization, an all-women-based organization that promotes women in leadership and public space for national development, empowering women politically and economically. And one of our core mandates, one of our core projects is the fight against SGBV, which is also very predominant in the political space. And so, apart from sensitizing our women and having our coordinated channels of responses to such issues, and how they can be able to reach out if they are being abused in the political space, we are also out there working and collaborating with other agencies to ensure that there's the implementation of the VAP law and the ACJL practice direction, so as to ensure that we get speedy justice for SGBV survivors.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
The Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajabiamila, is reassuring Nigerians of the present administration's commitment to create pathways that will enable the younger generation to participate in decision-making process of government. He was speaking at the opening session of Cohort Fellowship Program organized by the Legislative Mentorship Initiative and National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies in Abuja. Muhammad Rabiu Ali reports.
Young Nigerians, 45 out of 5,000 selected from across the 36 states of the Federation to participate in the initiative. They are into 3 weeks intensive training on leadership skills and legislative matters under the Leadership Mentorship Initiative.
As part of my commitment to this initiative, Your Excellency, permit me to use this medium once again to announce to you, as we did last year, that the best participant will be awarded or accorded an employment offer with our institute. Therefore, I urge the participants to put in their best and consider this a rare opportunity to take advantage of.
Founder of the Leadership Mentorship Initiative and Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajabiamila, assured Nigerians of continued effort in actualizing their dreams through mentorship.
When young people are engaged in productive economic pursuits that can provide for their needs, they are better positioned to participate in politics and governance from a position of strength. This is one of the reasons why the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is determined to rebuild the foundations of our national economy so that our nation becomes more attractive to the foreign and local capital. We need to build essential public infrastructure, develop new industries, build our communities, and create sufficient numbers of well-paying jobs to meet the demands of the large and growing population of young people in this country.
Other stakeholders believe that with this development, Nigerian youth will be better off and make public service a place to be. The Legislative Mentorship Initiative was established 2 years ago to empower Nigerians irrespective of status and historical background. In Abuja, Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
We now take a short break. Please don't go away.
Are you looking for a short channel to make your business, goods and services go viral? Look no further, as NTA Parliament is your short channel. Take advantage of our wider reach and advertise your products and services on NTA Parliament DSTV channel 370, GoTV channel 126, StarTimes channel 306, and Free TV channel 706. For more inquiries, contact the Marketing Department, NTA Parliament, NTA Headquarters Area 11 Garki Abuja, or call these numbers 080-383-40464 or 080-770-78055. NTA Parliament, strengthening Nigeria's democracy.
Moving on, Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly has passed a resolution authorizing the governor, Umo Eno, to set up interim administrations in local government councils in the state. The resolution was made during the emergency sitting at Wednesday's plenary. Assembly correspondent Nsikak Okon reports.
The resolution follows a letter sent to the House by the State Governor, Omoino, seeking the dissolution of local government councils and to empower him to set up interim administrations since the 2023 budget has not met provisions to fund elections.
Authorize His Excellency by virtue of Section 5.2 to constitute transition committees for each local government in Akwa Ibom State for a period of 6 months.
Mr. Speaker, I want also appeal to my colleagues here to give a speedy resolution to that, because where there's a vacuum in life, so many things can happen.
This House will authorize His Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Akwa Ibom State, to constitute interim administration in the local government areas of our state. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it.
The clerk of the House was directed to communicate the resolution of the House to the executive. Nsikak Okon reporting.
A bill to establish Sokoto State Community Guards Corps and related matters and the debate on the general principles of 2024 budget has passed first and second reading on the floor of the Sokoto State's House of Assembly. Legislative correspondent Nuruddin Abdullahi Adili has more.
Sokoto State is among states in the Northwest facing security challenges such as banditry, among others. Just like its counterparts in the region, Sokoto State government is addressing the situation through the establishment of Sokoto State Community Guards Corps to secure the lives and property of the people. The State Assembly is considering the government's bill for approval by members as part of their constitutional responsibility. During the deliberation at the plenary, Majority Leader of the House, a member representing Gorabawa North, and other lawmakers contributed in support of the establishment of the state security outfit. The House unanimously agreed to refer the matter to the Joint Committees of Judiciary, Justice and Human Rights, Security and Special Services for scrutiny and report back to the House within 2 weeks. Meanwhile, the House also debated on the general principles of the 2024 budget presented on the floor of the House by Sokoto State Governor Ahmad Aliyu Sokoto last Friday. Deliberating at the plenary, All legislators indicated their support for the bill to pass the second reading and refer it to the Subcommittee of Finance and Appropriation for scrutiny and consideration and report back to the House in 2 weeks. In Sokoto, Nuruddin Abdullahi Adili, NTA News.
A bill aimed at establishing the Kogi State Meat Hygiene and Inspection Law 2023, along with other related provisions, has passed second reading at the Kogi State House of Assembly. Ajibola Christopher reports.
During the debate, Suleiman Abdulrazak, the lawmaker representing Okene-1 constituency and also the majority leader, emphasized that the bill, categorized on an executive one, holds the potentials to ensure the availability of processed and wholesome meat in the state once enacted into law.
The provisions in the bill highlighted the establishment and construction of abattoirs and meat shops, animals to be and not to be slaughtered, method of slaughtering animals and poultry, slaughtering equipment to be used, hygiene conditions for abattoirs and meat shops, handling of diseased animals, sanitation of premises, prevention of rodents, reptiles, birds and insects in and around the premises, prohibition of a person having sore or wound within the premises of the abattoirs and meat shops.
Hygiene is very, very important to human life and very critical. If we can give a solution, pass it to this bill, it will help us preventing spreading of disease and other infection across our state.
If we give an accelerated hearing, we'll keep a long way in returning back our old health way.
All I agree with all that. If not by God's grace, anytime you visit our abattoirs or where they sell meat, you will not be interested in eating meat again. And apart from giving a good health, it creates additional revenue base for the government.
The bill has been referred to the House Joint Committee on Judiciary, Justice, Legal Matters, Health and Social Services for further legislative considerations. From the State House of Assembly, Ajibola Christopher, NTA News.
That's the size of our bulletin at this time. Remember to log on to NTA Parliament on the platforms showing on your screen. Thank you for watching and do have a very good evening. I am Ene Ojonuba.